Hi, welcome, or welcome back. I'm sure most of you, it's one of those welcome back situations. So hi. Wow. Okay. So today, what I am going to be doing, I am going to be giving you a January life and reading update. I think I need one of these. And I really need to, I really want to talk to you all and catch up about a bunch of things. Part of it is life, some of it is projects, and a bunch of it is reading related. Though nothing I could see really warranted as a standalone video. And so there are just like a bunch of things I wanted to talk to you all about. So, hi, if you're new here, then hi, I'm Shelly, and I really love books and reading, and I like hanging out with other fellow lovers of books and reading. And I have this space in which I interact with a bunch of other readers and book lovers, and you all interact with me, and it's wonderful. It's truly wonderful. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into the meat of this video. If I were to assign a word for January, I would just give it the word busy. I have been so busy. And for many of you who already know, though some of you may not, I started working this past month. I have not been working, or working in the home rather, for a couple of years, and I went out, I'm back working, and I have been so busy. And to give you a little bit of context about me, I'm actually one of those people who aspire to not be busy. That sounds silly saying it out loud. I like having, I don't want to say free time, but I like times where it's just quiet. I mean, of course, like you would kind of assume that, I suppose, for someone who loves to read. But I really love quiet. I like calm moments. I think I really need like the calm and quiet, and almost like a sense of nothingness or boredom, in order to feel my most creative, in order to have the space to grow and to like play around a little bit. And I feel like I haven't had that. I've had some. I'm not going to say I'm so busy up to the brim, up to my nose, that I haven't had any of that time, because that seems a bit pessimistic to me. But for the most part, I have just been really jam-packed, schedule full, and I have been in and out of the house, both working and just doing stuff. We had a house guest this month, and it's just been busy. And again, I'm somebody who aspires to have a little bit of wiggle room with her time, and so it's not been my favorite mode. And y'all, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Every weekend I prioritize a nap because I need it in order to get through the next week. So I think that gives you some context as to the first thing I wanted to talk about. And it actually comes from a question that somebody wrote to me. Now I can't remember the commenter, or one of you all, but the comment or the question was along the lines of, have you kept up with your reading now that you're working? And then it was like asking for a friend. And I actually wrote out kind of like my old schedule and then my new schedule. And I thought I would, for any inquiring minds, or for anybody who's maybe joining the workforce, this might be helpful for you. Or if you're just one of those people who just have a curiosity about one's reading schedule, then here you go. All of your questions will be answered for the most part. Okay, so I have my before schedule, and then I have my after schedule. And as I go through my before schedule, I'll let you know if I still have that time slot or not. So before I started working out in the world, going to a job every day, I would sometimes read in the very early morning, like from 5 to 6, or from 4:45 to 5:45. And sometimes I still have that time slot. though I think it's probably less than I did before. Then I would have time like in the morning. Sometimes I would snatch. So this is in the before life. In the before I started working, I would snatch time in the morning. As you know, like if my kiddo was busy, or if I just had 20 minutes or 30 minutes to grab my book or to listen to an audiobook, I would sort of have this getting stuff done in the morning in which I would read. Now that has more or less been obliterated. I'm going to say that I really don't have that time slot anymore. And then, as we're moving chronologically through my day, through my morning, then I would have nap time. And nap time was one of those chunks of time that I really relied on throughout the week in order to get a chunk of reading in. Because sometimes it would be a solid hour and a half, where my child would be sleeping and then I could grab my book and really get a lot done. You know, it's like a good chunk of time. No, not every nap time has been perfect, but we're going generally. I do not have that time at all anymore. Like, that time slot has been obliterated except for on the weekends. And then similar to the morning, in the afternoons, I would be doing chores, listening to an audiobook, or, you know, like I would, but a lot of times it just was sporadic. It's like if I had an opportunity to read, I would take it, and if not, I would let it go. And again, sometimes that book time would be in the form of an audiobook, and sometimes it would be in the form of physically reading. And then I would have like sometimes sporadically, very much like the morning and afternoon times, I would have this like dinner time slot where my kiddos are busy playing, everyone's settled, homework is done, everyone is home, and I'm waiting for something to cook on the stove, and then I sit down with my book, or I'm listening, which is something I love to do. I love cooking and listening to books. And then and that time slot is kind of there. I do sometimes rely on that, and sometimes I'm just busy doing other things. I'm not really following my own brief very well. That's okay. I'm sure all will be clear in a moment. And then the final time slot that I have had has been the evenings. And this is reliably the thing that has not changed in regards to my reading schedule. This is my reliable time to sit down and read is in the evenings. Typically it's between the times of 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. or 7:30 to 8:30, and I read at that time. So in the after time, I would say in the month of January, a lot of those I'm snatching times throughout the day. I'm maybe listening during making dinner. A lot of that time has gone away. I don't use that time because I don't have it anymore to read or listen to books. However, now I have 2 new time slots that have opened themselves up to me. The first one is break time at work, which some I have read, but often there are a lot of people that work in my building, and there are a lot of people to socialize with, and so sometimes I don't take the opportunity or prioritize reading during my break times at work. And then also I have driving time because it takes a half hour, sometimes a little bit more to get to work, and a half hour to get home. And so I definitely, when I have a chance, I will listen to a book. So I had some of my friends. I had Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, and Sonja, she's a subscriber, but more importantly, she's a friend. And they both asked me, what do you do on your drive? And I was like, I talk to you guys. I talk to Fraser Simons of the channel Springboard Thought, and I sit in silence sometimes because that's what I need. So, but more often than not, I have been finding that I'm feeling open to listening to something. And so often I'll pop in an audiobook. So, I will say that, yeah, snatching times throughout the day, I don't really have anymore. I'm still reading occasionally in the mornings. I'm always picking up my book in the evenings. The weekends are, it's like as much as I can read, as much as I can get away with reading, I read. And then now I'm like kind of fitting reading in between the cracks. So for inquiring minds, I hope that was clear. What my reading schedule looks like. If you were gonna like put it down to its what is it? The bare brass neck. What is it? To its, if you want to strip it to its bare bones, I'm mostly reading in the evenings and on the weekends, and then wherever I can fit it in. So yeah, and how am I feeling? I want to like go into how I'm feeling about my reading. I definitely accomplished some things this month that I was really proud of myself. Like I was so proud of myself for like keeping up with it. And one of which I wanted to give you an update anyways on the 23 classics I wanted to read in 2023, means that I read Middlemarch by George Eliot, and it is no small feat. It is like it's over 800 pages. It's not like, it is over 800 pages, and I just feel so proud of myself that, I read this and it was so good and I really loved it. So, there's that, nothing, what, I don't even know where I was going with that sentence. Nothing to shy away from. I don't know, but anyways, I'm really proud that I read this, and it ticks one of my 23 classics for 2023 off the list. And so while we're on this project, I also started but haven't finished Moy, Sand, and Gravel by Paul Muldoon, which is a poetry collection, and it did take a while for me to get into his poetry, but now that I'm in it, I can see where his playfulness lies, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit more than I did in the beginning. And he is a Pulitzer Prize winning poetry writer. So there's this. But I think sometimes I go through these modes, like I mentioned, I aspire to not be busy, that I just feel like I don't have enough time to read, or I don't get enough time to read. I think that that's maybe part of it. So I'm hopefully in the month of February, I can work in reading, like I can massage it into my schedule a little bit more. Because, and it could be just, you're catching me on this today, and this is how I feel today. But I feel like I'm not spending enough time with my books, like in my heart, Like my heart is telling me that I'm really missing books. And I'm really like, I'm just missing them. Like I just don't get enough time with them every day. And yeah, when I look back on my reading, I'm like, it was a really solid, really lovely reading month. So, so there's that, I just think that I would like to be reading more, but then I don't know if this voice is coming from being a bit hard on myself, not being flexible enough for all these changes that have happened recently, or if I am forging a new routine, and in a few months I'll look back and I'll be like, Shelly, you really, I think you were just going through the changes, that you were just feeling your feelings and feeling like a little bit frustrated because you're not spending the time that you want with your books. So yeah, there's that. I think that's probably what's weighing most heavily on my heart. I'm too busy and I'm not reading enough. So yeah, and then I wanted to update you all on my no TV in 23. I have not really watched television since I mentioned that I stopped watching it. So pretty much for the majority of January, I have not been watching television. We do watch a half hour of television during the evening, and it's not right before bed. It's in another time slot. And so we watch a half hour of television, and that's it. that is the television watching that I'm getting in. And I feel really good about it, partly because I'm not missing it. Like, I'm not like, oh, I really wish that I was watching television right now. And my husband is not watching television really right now. So it's not something that we're desperately missing, you know? But rather, what's interesting is that I miss it on Friday nights. like I want to stay up later. I want to have like a little party, you know, for myself. And since I don't really eat a ton of sweets, I will when I feel like it, and I don't drink any alcohol. And I don't know, like there's sort of the things that I think we associate with celebratoriness. I'm not partaking in. So yeah, I thought television is like one of those, like, it's a treat and it's a ritual, and you know, stay up late on a Friday night and watch a movie. That's very much like my childhood. We would watch a movie on Friday night. And so Friday night rolls around. Today is Friday when I'm chatting to you. And there is this moment where sometimes I'm like, I wish I was in the mood to watch a movie. But then I think, oh, I don't know what to watch, and I don't want to start a new show, and I don't even know if I'll watch a whole movie because that's a lot of time on just watching a screen, and then I back away from that idea pretty quickly. So yeah. So I think that's all I wanted to say about this month of January. And I would love to know how you know, about your month. What stood out? Do you have a word for this month that has really kind of tugged at your heartstrings, or, you know, really stood out for you? So a word that really has made you feel like this exemplifies my month. I'd love that. I would really love that to know. And how are your goals going? How are the goals? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great about my goals. I'm feeling better now that I've sort of talked about it. I'm feeling better about my reading, and I'm sure a more solid routine will emerge in the coming weeks, and I'll feel like even better, you know, about life and about like my schedule and all of that. But anyhow, that's it for me. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.